Alright, so Dana White just recently announced that Tom Aspinall is now the new heavyweight champion because Jon Jones has apparently retired from the sport and he's relinquished the title finally. And now Tom Aspinall will finally get to be active because it's been like 11 months since he's fought because he didn't know if he was going to be fighting Jon Jones or not and what was going to happen because Jon Jones, he could have retired in the cage after he fought Stipe Miocic and he told UFC and everybody, hey, look, I don't want to fight Tom Aspinall. I want to fight Alex Pereira. But you know what? I can at least vacate the title. He could have done that, but he didn't. Even though he knew he had no intentions of fighting Tom Aspinall, he just wasted everybody's time. I thought that he was going to take this fight. I actually made a video not too long ago talking about how I thought John Anik confirmed the fight because he said that the fight was potentially going to happen in December. And I saw in some betting apps that there was some early odds and they were posting the fight to apparently be taking place in December as well. So I try to connect the dots, but that led nowhere. So yeah, Jon Jones basically retired, and this is very strange, honestly, because you know, like this current era of champions. I mean, you look at guys like Islam Makhachev, Dricus du Plessis. You look at guys like Merab Dvalishvili, Alexandre Pantoja, all these guys, and like they always fight the next guy in line. They fight the best fighters. They fight whoever the UFC offers them. And even the other generation, the previous generation, where you had guys like Kamaru Usman, Israel Adesanya, Alexander Volkanovski, these guys always took on the next guys in line. And guess what? None of these guys are undefeated. None of these champions have a 0 next to their win column. But that doesn't make them any lesser champion than a guy like Jon Jones, who actually avoided fights. Like, he's avoided a fight against Tom Aspinall. He could have just relinquished the title and retired after he beat, even Cyril Gane. He could have retired then, or he could have just done it after he beat Stipe Miocic. But it's the fact that he dragged it on. He actually initially agreed to fight Tom Aspinall, confirmed by Dana White, but then he said no. And not only did he dock Tom Aspinall, but he docked Francis Ngannou in 2021. And he said, I'm going to move up to the heavyweight division. I'm done with light heavyweight. He even vacated the title. He actually docked the Dominic Reyes rematch. But that's besides the point. He said he was going to fight Francis Ngannou. And Ngannou was down for that fight. Even in 2022, when Ngannou beat Cyril Gane, he was like, Jon Jones' fight. Jon Jones said, oh, no, I need more time to bulk up, blah, 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 blah. He started speaking Mandarin, just came up with a whole bunch of words except, yes, I'll fight Francis Ngannou. And he didn't fight him. He did not fight him. He waited for Ngannou to leave the UFC. And as soon as he left the UFC, guess who moves to the heavyweight division? Jon Jones. And guess what? He fought Cyril Gane. And I thought Cyril Gane was going to beat him. I really did. But Jon Jones beat him. But Cyril Gane only had 6 weeks to prepare for that fight. While Jon Jones knew as soon as Francis Ngannou left the UFC that he was going to be fighting for the heavyweight title. Cyril Gane knew 6 weeks before the fight that he was going to be fighting Jon Jones. Well, Jon Jones already knew that he was going to fight Cyril, and he did what he did, and fair play. But I can't possibly call you the greatest of all time after doing this. And yeah, this is just a really, really bad image and a terrible lasting memory for Jon Jones. And it doesn't matter if he would have lost you Tom Aspinall. If he would have lost you Tom Aspinall, I would have still said he's the GOAT. But the fact that he did not accept this fight, and I'm seeing guys like Israel Adesanya, Kamaru Usman, Alexander Volkanovski take on literally everybody the UFC puts in front of them, and I don't care that they lose. It doesn't matter if you lose. Losing is actually very important, and it really defines what a real champion is, because you lose a fight, and that can really just completely destroy your career. I mean, look at Ronda Rousey. She was undefeated, 12-0. She just beat Beth Korea, and then she fights Holly Holm, and she loses and has an unbelievable mental breakdown because she cannot believe that she lost, and she can't recover from it. She then goes out there and fights Amanda Nunes, and she gets starched in like 60 seconds, and then she won't ever come back into the octagon. She does no interviews. I mean, it completely shattered her. And now you have these other champions, like I said, Kamaru Usman, Israel Adesanya, Volkanovski, Makhachev, all these guys, they take a loss, but then they rebuild themselves and they come back. And they beat their opposition. Like Israel Adesanya loses to Pereira 3 times, and then he comes back and he knocks him out and he finally beats him. And that shows true resilience. That shows true character to not only just beat everybody because you're better than them, but also losing to one guy and then coming back and avenging that loss. I mean, that, honestly, in my opinion, it's more impressive than going completely undefeated. And Jon Jones, he didn't have the undefeated run like Floyd Mayweather. First of all, Floyd Mayweather never failed 3 drug tests, but also Floyd Mayweather fought everybody. He fought the new generation, guys like Canelo, and he beat them. Jon Jones could have done that with Tom Aspinall, but he didn't. And Floyd Mayweather he fought Manny Pacquiao. Yes, he was a bit older, but he was older than Pacquiao when they fought. He was undefeated, but he really took out everybody in his generation. And most of the time, those guys were bigger than him. Like Canelo was like 15 pounds bigger than him. He was younger, and he still took that fight. And Jon Jones, throughout the majority of his career, he's had a massive reach advantage, massive height advantage. He was a younger fighter at times. He had steroids in his system against Daniel Cormier. He knew months in advance that he was going to fight Shogun, and he had a massive grappling advantage over him. And against Stipe Miocic, obviously, he was the fresher fighter, the more active fighter. He knew about the fight. Stipe was really just collecting a paycheck. So, like, all in all, I can't say Jon Jones is the GOAT. I just can't. I feel like the greatest of all time right now, it's Demetrius Johnson. I think that number 2 is George St. Pierre. And then you can put Jon Jones in there. And, yeah, you can put Anderson Silva. But, yeah, it's just, like, what a bad look. Like I said, I don't care if Jon Jones would have lost to Tom Aspinall. You could have gone in there and won moments, maybe a round against Tom Aspinall. Maybe you take it to the second round. And you could have had people saying, you know what, if it was prime Jon Jones, he could have probably beat him. But instead, you leave like this, and it's just a very bad look, in my opinion.